Network Entertainment.
Hi girls
and boys, kami ang
Lady Bosses!
Mga sister-alets!
CR tayo, let's go!
Actually, wag tayo mag-CR ngayon. Mag-clinic tayo. Dahil, ang ask ko lang for today ay, kung doktor ang tatay nyo, magpapagamot ka ba?
Ha? Doktor or obigay?
Joke nung 80s yun yung konduktor. Konduktor lang yung tatay mo, ba't ka magpapagamot? The real question.
Sobrang tita joke
mo yun?
naman yun. Ano ba? Pati ako, hindi ko na naabutan.
No, but the real question is, kung doktor kayo, ano yung magiging specialty nyo or specialization? What would you prefer?
Ako, child psychology.
Almost there. I mean, you were really studying psychology. Alright. Bakit?
Una, fascinated ako sa psychology. Sa kung paano. Kasi laging, mas naniniwala ako kay Freudian, yung past talaga ang malaking factor talaga ang past ng isang tao kung bakit siya ganito ngayon.
So, magagamit mo sa kids mo.
Oo.
Ako, IM. Internal med. Mga sakit-sakit, ganun. Kasi, parang, pagpatanda ka na, ganun. Parang yun talaga yung hinahanap na doktor eh. Tapos, matutulungan ko yung parents ko, ganyan. Kasi pareho silang may mga disease, may diabetes and heart
internal
disease.
medicine, malaking bagay ng COVID. Tama ba? Or hindi, infectious diseases pala rin.
Oo.
Diba? Pero parang correlated with internal medicine. Ikaw, Kay?
Ako gusto ko anesthesiologist.
Ang hirap nun.
Gusto
Kasi yung
ko
pagtimpla
ng gamot.
anesthesia.
Diba? Parang ang saya
Nakaparalyze
kasi
pag hindi
na
tama.
makakatulong. Alam mo yung magbibigay ka ng comfort sa taong discomfort.
Oo.
In pain, ganyan. Tapos tuturok mo lang, alis ka na.
Oo.
Diba? Tapos ang laki ng
Instant
pera nun.
50,000.
Oo, correct. Diba?
Tsaka laging, kasama mo yung surgeon na malaki yung pera.
Pero mas mahirap yung ginawa ng surgeon sa anesthesiologist. Well, I don't know. I think in terms of
Hindi
the
ko din alam.
value
Basta gusto
for
ko
the
yun. Anesthesiologist.
service. Ako, OB-GYN.
Totoo nga?
Sip-sip.
Dahil ang guest natin today ay si Dr. Tina Fa. How should we call you? Tina Fa. She's Christina Facelo during our high school days. And now she's Datu Ramos. She's now married. So, Dr. Tina Datu Ramos. Welcome to our podcast, Lady Bosses.
Welcome.
So, Doktora is an OB-GYN plus she's a fellow. Fellow is FPOGS Fellow Philippine Obstetrical and Gynecological Society. Parang yun yung parang a step further than just being an ordinary OB-GYN. And she's also an EMDRCM from AIM. Ito yung Executive Master in Disaster Risk and Crisis Management. So how do you combine both? How does it help to be an EMDRCM from just plainly being an OB-GYN?
Yeah. Clarify ko lang yung FPOGS kasi it's title given to obstetrician gynecologist na nakapasa dun sa specialty boards.
Okay.
So pag natapos ka dun sa residency as OB ka na.
Ay,
But
tama.
you need parang kumbaga pag nag-graduate ka accountancy, kailangan may CPA, parang ganon. So we have that. So if you do look for your obstetricians, look for somebody na FPOGS kasi ibig sabihin pumasa siya sa specialty boards. That's why we're fellows of that society. Kaya ako nag-EMDRCM kasi walang OB na may ganong master sa sunod. It's a relatively new career path. Alam naman natin na very prone tayo ngayon sa lahat ng klaseng disasters, not just those caused by, hazards. And because of the pandemic, napansin ko kasi na very ill-prepared yung healthcare system pagdating sa disaster. So, nung time na yun, as an OB, like ang daming kumukontak sa akin sa Facebook na humihingi ng tulong kasi hindi sila pinapansin ng mga OB nila. Like, sarado lahat ng clinics, hindi sila sinasagot sa text, wala pa masyadong nagte-teleconsultation ng time na yun. So, talagang magulo yung healthcare system, not just for COVID, but also for those who were like, pregnant. Hindi nila alam kung saan sila pupunta. So, parang ako, iniisip ko, how do I go down that path officially, yung hindi lang yung nasanay ka lang yung experience mo, but to be actually trained. Kaya pinasok ko yun sa Asian Institute of Management.
So parang nagpapa-check up during COVID? Zoom, di ba? Paano? So, pinapakita yung...
Hindi naman. Hindi naman, but actually, bubuka ka talaga kapag sasabihin sa'yo na pwede magpadala ka ng picture or video. So, isi-send mo yon through Viber is secure or email para secure. Wag sa Messenger. Kasi pwedeng
mahak
mahak ang Pero
Maging
yun,
viral.
usually, actually pati yung teleconsultations now, if you do that,
Okay.
yun yung sasabihin sa'yo nung doctor mo. Not to go on cam like actual na. Sige nga, ganyan. But can you send me a picture of whatever or send me a video of this?
Kasi derma, madali.
Mm-mm.
Di ba, maki-check niya kagad kung ano yung case mo. But for OB,
naman, believe me, pwede.
Para pag mag-IE, doktor.
Ayun. Yung IE mo usapan kasi yun, talagang kailangan pumunta ka na sa ER or... Pero nung time na sarading clinics, wala talaga.
So, kawawa yung mga pregnant nung time na
Kawawa
yun.
talaga.
Ang hirap
Saka
talaga
napapraning
nung
ka.
COVID, no?
Kawawa
Nung time
talaga
na yan.
sila. Like, biro mo yung messages nila, like, nagbabakasakali lang po ako na tanggapin niyo yung message ko kasi
Wow.
ganito yung symptoms nila, tapos hindi raw sumasagot yung OB or sarado yung clinic ng OB. Wala silang, kailangan nung time na yun kasi bago ka lumabas ng house at sige magpa-check up ka, bundes, no, prenatal, papaalam ka pa sa barangay, tapos parang susunduin ka pa, hahatid ka pa.
Kasi swab test ka muna.
swab test muna.
Oo. Bugbog na bugbog yung ilong mo nun eh.
Kaya may senador na nag-ano nun, di ba?
Ala, oo nga.
Buntis yung wife niya, no? Mga na.
Si Provinciano. Si Provinciano.
Totoo.
Ito, we invited you in also because we saw a video of a lady who happened to be pregnant. Kakapanganak lang o nanganak na.
Hindi pa kaka-pregnant niya pa lang.
Buntis siya.
Buntis siya.
So, meron siyang mood swings.
Mm-mm. Well, dun sa video, nagwawala siya.
Okay.
So, though vlogger kasi sila, doktora. So, dun sa video na yon pinapakita yung mood niya, nagalit siya.
Nakita ko nga, pinadala niya
Ayun,
sa amin yung
yun.
video.
Tapos, ngayon, yung may mga nagko-comment na nag-iinarte lang, baka scripted or something. Tapos, hindi kasi lahat aware na may tinatawag tayong prepartum.
Prepartum. Okay. Kasi postpartum mas common.
Postpartum kasi pag nakapanganak
Yung
na.
ay prepartum.
While pregnant.
While pregnant.
Okay.
Before being pregnant. Pre is before eh.
Pre.
So, before, during.
Ay, paano pag during pala?
Antepartum.
Ayun.
First time to hear
Ah,
that.
ako din. Akala ko yun pala.
Prepartum,
Bago ka buntis.
edi normal kang tao, like you don't have the hormone.
Wala ka pa rin naman.
Hindi, ibig sabihin wala kang hormones of being
Yeah,
pregnant.
kaya ngayon, di ba, ang isa sa mga uso ring pag-usapan yung mental health. Kasi that really is a concern for everyone, boys and girls. You know, it happens, it can happen anytime, may problema, walang problema. Mental health really is an issue na hindi siya masyado na pag-uusapan. That's why yung question mo ngayon na parang nagtataka ka, kasi hindi siya ganun ka commonplace na pag-usapan siya.
Unless prepartum, meaning, halimbawa, you're trying to have a baby. You're injecting hormones.
Pwede din naman.
Pwede
no?
yun.
Or pinakasimple na siguro na pwedeng magkaroon ng mood changes would be the intake of oral contraceptive pills, for example. So makikita mo dun sa pamphlet pag binasa mo siya or pag in-explain ng OB mo sa'yo, you may experience mood swings when taking yung hormones. Kasi nga, yung hormones na yung estrogen, progesterone, they can do number sa emotions ng isang babae.
Parang chemical reaction of your...
It is a chemical reaction, yeah. And then, talagang meron siyang effect from yung daily interaction mo with people to libido, to how you handle stress, lahat niyan. And that's just pills. Yung amount ng hormones dun sa pills cannot be compared to the level of hormones mo during pregnancy. Ba yun?
So mas mataas yung sa pregnant.
Of course, yes.
So, yung nakita natin, auntie.
Oh,
Si auntie naman kasi.
Oh, actually, tatanong ko nga sa inyo sa video na yon kasi vlogger sila and then I was reading the comments. Parang sinasabi nila that it's scripted.
Okay.
So, mukhang buntis siya now and then parang sinasabi na dati, parang ugali niya na ba before?
Yun nga. Oo.
Pero doktora, ang gusto ko lang, ako personally, ang gusto ko lang i-point out ay maging aware yung mga tao na pagbuntis talaga ang babae, meron talagang mood changes.
Totoo naman.
So, scripted sa hindi yung video, kailangan nilang maging aware na may ganun talaga.
What usually happens? Is it magnifying your current, kumbaga yung personality mo, pag buntis ka, na ma-magnify yung mga ugali mo? Or
Bigla na lang nagkakaroon.
Bagong tao yun.
Bagong tao.
Parang
Correct.
joker ba? Hindi. Bago ang lahat, let us establish the fact na yung pregnancy ng isang babae, habaw ikaw, tsaka si Diana, hindi mo pwedeng compare yan. Ever. Your experience will be totally different, no? And ikaw, sa sarili mo, let's say it's your first pregnancy versus your second, third, hindi mo rin siya pwedeng i-compare. You have to establish that. Hindi mo, kasi ang daming comments doon sa video na parang, ako nga nung buntis ako, ganito, ganyan. Hindi mo siya pwedeng, hindi siya valid. I mean,
Hindi siya comparable.
you experience it, but she may also be experiencing something real na hindi mo naranasan. Doesn't make hers like false. Doesn't make yours false. Yun. So, kung yung tinatanong ninyo is, will pregnancy bring out like the worst in you? Unfortunately, in a sense, yes. Tanggalin natin yung thinking na kapag buntis ka, meron kang pregnancy glow. Na parang ang ganda-ganda mo pag buntis ka. Like, everything's fine and dandy. No. Ako personally, I've had 2 pregnancies and 1 miscarriage, no. Hindi siya a walk in the park. It really is a difficult phase in a woman's life. At dahil dun sa mga discomforts pa lang, wala pa si hormones, ha. Talagang expect mo na mag-iiba talaga yung ugali niya. Although, I've experienced also a lot of patients na talagang anghel naman talaga. Sobrang bait. Like, hindi talaga sila, wala kang maririnig sa kanila. Not a peep. They're very respectful, ganyan. But I've also had some experiences na talagang huhugot ako sa pagiging professional ko para hindi ko sila patulan. Kasi talagang nakakaawa how they treat yung husband nila or their boyfriend. Yeah, in front of me. Talaga? Actually, medyo edited pa nga yung in front of me. Kasi, one time...
Nag-hold back pa yun sa
Nag-hold back talaga. Nagulat din ako. Kasi like one time yung asawa ko, hinatid ako sa office, sa clinic. Tapos, hintay na lang niya ako. So, paglabas ko, sabi niya, may pasyente ka ba? Ganito yung itsura. Tapos yung asawa niya, dinescribe niya din. Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi niya, naawa ko doon sa lalaki. Kasi, nakita daw niya na at saka narinig niya na sinisigawan ng babae sa parking lot ng hospital. Yung asawa niya na parang calling him names, ganyan, bilisan, whatever. Yeah. Sabi ko, really? Sa harap ko, tawa lang ng tawa yung girl. Tapos, nagpapatuloy lang medyo pabebe lang siya konti doon sa, asawa niya, yung tulungan mo ko, hindi ako makahiga, ihiga mo ko. Mga ganyan. But, hindi to the point na, kumbaga, it was really abusive yung dinescribe ng asawa ko na what was happening sa parking lot. Not to that level, but it does happen. Yan.
Kasi, baka naman kasi meron din, halimbawa, making it an excuse or...
Making it an excuse na
antepartum and postpartum.
That one is also very hard to determine. Kasi, kaya pag merong mental health issue ang isang tao, it's actually quite difficult to diagnose that and to manage that. Kami, as healthcare professionals, we have to remove yung thinking na baka nag-inarte lang yun.
Pero doktora, minsan ang hirap, no?
Mahirap talaga siya. Hindi siya minsan mahirap. Mahirap talaga siya.
Yung being...
Yung
handling
hindi mo siya
mental
ma-judge kung talaga bang yan ka o dinaloko mo
baka ikaw naman talaga yan,
baka
ugali mo na yan,
correct.
sa postpartum.
Hindi naman kasi kami dapat mag-judge. Kasi pumunta, ang doktor kasi, isipin mo dapat, pumunta yung tao na yan sa harap mo, sa clinic mo, kasi may nararamdaman yan, may kailangan yan sa'yo. Whatever it is na kailangan niya, it is your job as a clinician to get that from her. So kung halimbawa, ang problema lang niya, wala siyang kausap sa bahay, pero nag-iimbento siya ng reason to be there, may masakit, may whatever, then you have to deal with it professionally. Pero, talaga, samot-saring personalities yung may experience mo sa mga buntis. At saka, totoo yung sinasabi niyo na biglang term ng nanay ko doon, parang binaligtad na plato daw. Yung you will see a totally different side of that person. Tapos pag hindi na siya buntis, mag-recover na siya, 1-year-old yung anak niya, balik na siya doon sa dati.
I think that's something na men can never understand. No?
Gaano ba katagal ang postpartum? Kasi 'di ba meron yung kahit matanda na yung bata, nagpa-postpartum pa rin yung ano.
Yung postpartum na sinasabi nyo kasi you differentiate from postpartum blues tsaka yung postpartum depression. So usually give it like a 2-month window for postpartum blues. Lahat ba kayo nanganak na?
Yes.
Lahat, okay. If you go back to the time, kung naalala nyo pa, nakakapanganak nyo lang, you had, especially during the first month or 2 months ng pagkalabas ng baby nyo, you had this feeling na parang kang laging alone and down.
Yes.
Na parang konting matulak ka lang ng konti, luluha ka na talaga. And you're just keeping your shit together. Alam mo yun?
I love it. Keeping your shit together.
Yes, because that exactly is what's happening during your
Tsaka
first 2
constipated
months.
ka, you're really keeping your shit
Hindi naman lahat constipated. Diba? Pero pwede. Pero yun, mahirap kasi talaga lahat. And imagine 9 months mo binitbit yung bata and then suddenly pagising mo, wala na siya doon, bitbit mo na siya. Pag iyak, pag gutom, pag nagwiwi, everything you have to handle. Dati, nandun lang siya sa tiyan mo, nag-aantay ka lang, wala kang ginagawa, and suddenly, you're thrust into this situation that you have to take care of a really vulnerable baby, diba? Sino ba namang hindi madidepress doon? Sino hindi malulungkot? Plus, your hormones are really, all over the place, yes. It will take a while to adjust, especially yung first timer ka ng anak. No. Pag after ng 2 months na yon, since nakapag-adjust na yung sleep-wake cycle ng baby, ikaw din, medyo nasanay ka na, hormones mo medyo bumababa na rin, pwedeng, babalik ka na, sort of. Hindi ka pa yung usual self mo talaga, but you're recovering na. After the 2-month mark, if the patient still tells the OB, I've had patients like that, na, Doc, I still feel depressed, na parang wala akong gana, tapos minsan nakatitig lang ako, or wala pa naman akong na-experience sa Doc, gusto kong patayin yung sarili ko or gusto kong saktan yung baby ko. Wala pa naman. But there are some who would actually verbally say that, or yung actions nila, kakaiba talaga. Yung hindi na sila nakakatulog, hindi sila kumakain, or hindi sila naliligo. If after 2 months, may mga ganun, it would be best for the family to seek further intervention.
Yun na yung depression. Hindi na blues.
Hindi na. Usually 2 months lang talaga yung bibigay mo doon sa diagnosis mo na yun, na postpartum blues, which is something physiologic or expected. It's normal. Postpartum depression, it's not. You should treat that.
So, pero yun nga, doktora, yung depression, yung postpartum depression, usually, gaano katagal?
Wala yang, just like clinical depression, wala yang, dapat after 1 year, dapat mag-resolve na yan. Yung postpartum depression, it can lead to a different type of depression. It is depression na pwedeng na-trigger lang siya nung pagbubuntis mo. So, maaaring bago ka pa magbuntis, meron ka ng symptoms of depression, hindi lang clinical depression, hindi lang siya na-address. And then, parang tipping point or trigger yung pregnancy na talagang hindi na naka-recover fully hindi na kinaya nung mga defense mechanisms ng babae, yung naging problem. So talagang totally nag-depress na siya.
Pagka nabuntis ba ulit habang may postpartum depression, would it somehow cure the depression?
Cure? No.
Back-to-back pregnancies
Nako, wag back-to-back pregnancy. Ang daming niyan, ang daming
Too
effect.
late.
Pero ikaw,
Too late.
5 months na to, doktora. Ano gagawin natin?
pero hindi naman ganun kadikit no? Parang
5 months nung
ilan
nalaman
taon na
ko si
yung
Dong. Ngayon
5
po,
months.
anak mo, 9.
9.
Years old?
9 months.
9 months.
Pero
Sana hindi ka CS, no?
CS.
CS ka. Ang saya mo. Lagot ka sa OB mo.
Ay, mamaya natin pag-usapan, doktora. I-off-air natin yung OB ko na yan.
Macha-charge ka ng medyo mataas.
Ay, hindi. Doktora, listen, mamaya.
Sige.
Pag-usapan natin.
May backstory yung nangyari sa kanya.
Kung ano nangyari.
Oo nga. Oo nga, alam ko ito kwento na to.
Hindi ka, kapag nabuntis ka ulit, when you're depressed, it can actually worsen it. Kasi,
Hindi ka naman depressed.
Hindi na.
Okay, good.
hindi na.
Feeling ko hindi na.
Okay.
Pero, doktora, di ba normal naman yung every now and then, parang malulungkot ka, nakakaiyak, out of nowhere.
In general, pagdating sa mental health mo, as long as it's not impeding your functions,
Okay.
pwede ka namang mag-work, you can still take care of whateter it is that you have to do. It's okay if you feel, hindi naman lahat happy, no? Hindi ba everyday happy?
Pag happy ka, pag happy ka lagi,
Meron ding may diagnosis din para sa taong laging masaya.
Pero doktor, di ba kasi meron
wala na sa lugar.
high function
High functioning na depression.
Oo, may ganun doktora, di ba?
Meron din.
Nagtuturo.
Sa totoo lang kasi sa psychiatry, it's a very difficult subject to talk about kung hindi ka psychiatrist. No? Maraming nuances yan, maraming misconception na ako bilang OB, wala talaga akong karapatan na i-discuss yan, no? Siguro, basta merong mga nararamdamang unusual na talagang ginawa mo na yung lahat on your end at saka sa family mo, it's better you consult a psychiatrist to see kung ano ba talaga yun. Like, is it normal pa? Or do you need medication? Do you need behavioral therapy?
In a world of over 1 billion faithful, one voice has led with hope, humility, and change. Now the world watches and waits for what comes next. A new chapter is unfolding, and the conversations that will shape it have already begun. I'm Pia Ontiveros, and together with Voices at the Pod, we bring you conversations that matter. In this special feature, Pia and the Pope, Reflections on Faith, Legacy, and a Successor, we talk about my personal journey with Pope Francis, the life and legacy he left behind, and the historic choices now shaping the Church's future. We also look at the Filipino voice rising on the global stage and what it means for the future of faith and leadership. This is Pia and the Pope, Reflections on Faith, Legacy, and a Successor, a special feature from Voices at the Pod. And in a country where faith runs deep, this is a conversation we all need to be a part of. Coming soon on Spotify and wherever you listen.
Ito, may nabasa kasi akong post ni Doktora. Sabi niya, ito, post niya nung Valentine's. Sabi niya, on behalf of all OB-GYNs, we thank everyone who celebrated with a big bang this Valentine's. Our Burr months will be booked. Totoo ba? Ang dami. Talaga?
Especially November, doktora. No?
Bilangin niyo siya kung ilang months between January, February hanggang sa mga Burr months. Kaya usually kapag Burr months, mahirap kang humanap ng kama sa hospital pag public. Na OB sa OB. Kasi dami nanganganak talaga.
Dahil sa Valentine's to?
Motel.
Christmas, tapos January, tapos...
Kasi
saka malamig. At saka malamig
bakasyon.
Yun eh.
Bakasyon.
Tapos yun dyan sa Burr month. So, ako, produkto ko niyan. November ang aking birthday. O pag binilang mo, mabibilang mo yan eh kung kailan ka na-conceive. Anong month, anong date.
Tsaka umuwi mo OFW pagka December.
Oo nga.
Tsaka mga semen.
Kaya actually,
Lumalabas yung semen.
Hindi siya actually joke. Ano talaga yun?
Totoo yun. Confirmed.
Yes.
Confirmed.
Meron talaga.
May tanong pa
Hindi, ang
ako.
saya ng Pasko niyo.
Busy yun kaya. Pero may mga OB din na nagbabakasyon sila niyan. Ako kasi hindi ako masyadong ma-travel. So marami talaga pag tumataas yung census ng ospital.
Kawawa yung OB ko nung yung sa panganay ko, kawawa siya nung nagbabakasyon siya sa Baguio noon. Pinatawag ko siya kasi manganganak na.
Saan ka nanganak?
Diyan, sa Medical City. Ano siya? December 30. So, dapat nagbabakasyon na siya for New Year dun sa Baguio. Tapos talagang napatakbo siya dito sa Manila.
Swerte ka kung ganon. Kasi usually, yung mga nagbabakasyon na OB, they have relievers.
Oo. Pero
Na
gusto niya kasi
naiiwan.
siya yung sasalo eh.
Pero doktora, pag reliever ang sumalo ng baby, hindi sa'yo yung bayad.
Ay, depende na sa
Partly.
usapan yun. Depende. Sometimes, they give half-half. Like, tag-50 tayo. Others, bahala ka na. Yung
Siguro
others,
gusto
less than
yung sa akin, gusto niya buo sa kanya.
I do not know. Kanya-kanyang dahilan yan.
Pero your work, for example, you get a lot of emergency calls. Makanganak na si ganyan, si patient A.
Pag OB ka, expect that.
Talaga.
Yung talagang, kasi sabi ko sa kanya kanina, diba yung girlfriend niya, sabi niya,
Oo.
nag-OB. Why?
Oo.
Kasi even if you're an old OB already, established na yung practice mo, unless you decide or you have a subspecialty like ultrasound, magde-decide ka na ayoko nang mag-clinic, expect na hanggang forever na nagpa-practice, gagising ka talaga madaling araw. Kasi, itong mga buntis na to,
Oo.
nararamdaman nila buong araw that there's something there.
Yes.
Gusto nilang pakiramdaman muna. At pag nakahiga na nila nasa kama nila, saka lang sila, wait lang, parang hindi na siya normal. So, syempre, gabi na yun, di ba? Mas madaling araw na. I've had a lot of calls like that. Lalo na nung kakastart ko pa lang, hirap kaya nun yung hindi ka pa ganun kasanay mag-drive tapos madaling araw tapos pupunta ka dun sa hospital kasi umiiyak na yung patient, doktora, pumutok na yung panubigan ko tapos breach siya. Alam mo yun? So parang ikaw,
Tsaka,
thanks a lot.
syempre parang conscience mo rin yun if something happens to the
Hindi
baby.
lang sa conscious, obligasyon mo yun bilang OB talaga. Tatayo ka talaga, pupuntahan mo talaga siya. And it's not just for women na manganganak na. Let's say you have a patient na bleeding, profuse vaginal bleeding. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na bukas na yun. Hindi naman manganganak yan eh. Bleeding. At iba yung bleeding kasi sa babae eh.
Lalo pag buntis.
So,
lalo pag
emergency
nakunan.
talaga siya.
Expect mo na yan kapag OB ka, your life is one big on-call moment. Hindi ka talaga...
So, tatanungin ko sa'yo, bakit ka nag-OB?
Bakit ka nga nag-OB?
Ba't ako nag-OB? Dapat kasi noon, actually gusto ko talagang gawin, na-realize ko na nung 4th year medicine, I wanted to teach English literature. Parang si Mrs. Pengson. Okay? Kaya lang too late na, gagraduate na ako. Tapos ang gusto ko ng una, neurology. Kaya lang, sabi ko, walang surgery yun eh, lahat nun medical. Tapos nag-rotate ako sa OB. Tapos nakita ko, yung mga residents doon, they have the same personality as me. Yung matapang, maingay. Tapos wala kang pasyenteng lalaki. Oh my God. Alam niyo yung mga pasyenteng lalaki compared sa mga babae, napaka-arte talaga. 'Di ba? You have two patients, male and female. Yung isa may ubo, yung babae may ubo, sipon, lagnat. Parang mamamatay na yung lalaki.
Ay,
Hindi yan. Oo, samantalang ito pag OB ka, wala kang pasyenteng lalaki. Okay na din yun kasi I don't have to deal with their drama. Ang hirap nilang kausapin, tapos parang minsan kailangan mo pang sabihin sa kanila, wag mong exaggerate yung symptoms mo kasi hindi kita mag-diagnose ng maayos. Diba? Sa mga babae, opposite yun actually. You have to ask them, are you sure wala ka ng ibang nararamdaman? Tapos minsan yung iba, Dok, masakit kasi talaga, pero okay naman natitiis ko. Talaga, gaano kasakit from 1 to 10? Ang mga 9, 8?
9 na pala.
Kaya ko pa naman.
Bakit nga? Threshold natin mas mataas sa pain.
Ganun.
Because we deliver, we know how to labor.
Is it a fact? Or ano?
I can't really, if you say fact, I can't really tell you na itong study na to, ganyan. But yun, anecdotally or tsaka based sa experience ko, yeah, it is. Talagang, ang hirap maging pasyente ng mga lalaki kasi bawat kibot nila merong something. Dami. So, daling pasyente girls.
Yung observation ko dyan, parang yun yung pagkakataon nila magpabebe. Pag kami sakit sila. Alagaan mo ako, parang ganyan.
Gusto magpaalaga.
Pero Dok, wala ka namang naging pasyente na yung asawa yung mas makulit.
Okay. Ano yan eh. Habang tumatagal ka bilang OB, no, you develop this parang unique way of doing bedside manners dun sa... Hindi kasi lahat ng OB parehas ng paraan how to deal with patients and their relatives and their husbands. So, nung bata-bata pa ako, kasi I've started being a consultant 2012. Nung bata-bata pa ako, tsaka lalo nung residente ako, pinapatulan ko talaga yan. Pag nag-iinarte sila, meron kasi talagang demanding. Akala nila, binayaran ka ng kaluluwa mo na talagang back and call nila, andun ka. Tapos yung minsan yung mga comments pa nila talagang wala sa lugar. So papatulan ko talaga yon. But I've learned through the years that it's more effective if you address them at an intellectual level. Tsaka you treat them as your equal. Kasi ang kasalanan ng karamihan ng doctors talaga, parang ang feeling nila mas mataas sila dun sa patient. Hindi. You're working hand in hand with these people. Hindi lang sa dahil binabayaran ka nila, no? Pero at nakapag-aral ka ng matagal, you will do what you want. You're supposed to converse with the patient and the family and clarify with them kung ano ba talaga yung issue. Ano ba yung may tutulong ko sa inyo. This would actually be effective dun sa, balikan sa video na sinabi nyo ha. Kung ganun yung sitwasyon na nagwawala yung babae and then she treats her family that way, it would be best actually to have a family meeting. Hindi mo lang kakausapin yung patient. You also converse with the husband and yung sino ba yung babae na nandun. Oo. And you ask them, what do you observe? Or ano ba yung gusto ninyong goal for this? Kasi hindi mo kakayanin yan bilang doktor lang. Kasi wala ka dun eh. Hindi nga natin ma-establish kung scripted ba yan or hindi. Hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung issues niya sa buhay niya before pregnancy and during pregnancy. You have to talk to everyone and you deal with them the maximum tolerance ka talaga is highest level of professionalism as much as possible.
Patawag na natin si Mamita, yung mami mo. Grabe. Okay.
Ako may question ako. May nagpapa-OB ba na lalaki?
Sa akin, meron. Dala-dala ng mga asawa nila, girlfriend nila. Paano ba? I've had several instances na dala-dala nung babae yung asawa nilang seaman. Tapos pauupuin nila dun. Sasabihin nila, doktora, pagalitan mo na. Kasi, halimbawa yung patient got an STD. And then I would be, STI na pala tawag sa akin, sexually transmitted infection. And then I would be explaining dun sa girl, you'll be surprised na mga 20s, 30s, hindi nila alam kung ano ibig sabihin ng sexually transmitted infection. I have to explain. And then explain again that you only get it through sexual contact. And then sila parang, pero asawa ko lang po yung blah, blah, blah. And I have to explain further.
So, nalalaman nila through you na may ibang...
It's my obligation to the patient kasi to explain. Kasama dun sa explanation how they... Kasi yun ang tanong nila, saan ko nakuha to, diba? Saan ko nakuha to? Eh, kailangan ko explain in the most scientific way possible that I can do that. Na hindi
na siya makarealize.
Na hindi, na parang hindi ko ginajudge yung lifestyle nung...
husband.
And ang ending usually, Dok, pauwi niya asawa ko, dadalhin ko siya dito. Tapos I've had yung umiyak sila doon na parang umabot na ako. Kaya nga sabi ko, pag ubi ka, you're a marriage counselor, you're a father confessor. Minsan, minsan pati yung mga anak nila dadalhin nila kasi ayaw makinig sa kanila. So, hindi lahat ng OB will do that.
Yes.
Hindi lahat. But ako, hindi ako kasi yung the more the merrier na parang I don't go for quantity kasi I want sana na yung patients
quality
ko
time with the patient.
Na makausap ko talaga sila, and especially yung mga husbands nga kasi hindi rin nila maintindihan. May magsusumbong sa akin, Dok, kanina dun sa labas medyo kinurot ko lang naman siyang konti, parang gigil lang ng konti, bigla raw umiyak. Kaya pala umiyak, mahagulgol yung patient sa harap ko. Tapos hindi alam ng lalaki kung bakit siya umiyak. So, kailangan ko nalang explain sa kanya, buntis kasi siya. So, yung mga ganong bagay.
Saka yung senses pag buntis.
Iba eh.
Mas iba eh.
Mas sensitive ka talaga. It's, again, the hormones. Yung masakit dati, medyo mas masakit ngayon. Dati kaya mo, ngayon mas masakit siya. And hindi maintindihan ng guys because they don't go through that. You have to explain it to them. You have to take time to explain.
Pero yung lalaki will go to you.
I don't accept kung hindi siya
dinala na.
I should make it clear na ang nagtitreat sa mga lalaki, urologist. So halimbawa, may patient ako na may genital warts. I would say na have your husband or your boyfriend go to the urologist kasi sila yung titingin. Kailangan i-examinin kasi yung penis, and I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't do that anymore.
May bagong ruling na ba sa medical field on trans woman, for example?
Ruling? What do you mean?
Like previously man. Kunyari, halimbawa sa'yo, may gusto magpa-check up na previously man, born as a man, but now identifies as a woman,
na may
change.
Ano na siya.
Oo, may vagina na.
I can't really answer that. In terms here sa Philippines, hindi ko alam sa ibang bansa Here sa Philippines, I have not heard of any, or we weren't given any guidelines regarding that. Maybe there are some who are already having such patients. Kung if you're gonna ask me personally, I wouldn't know how to handle that. Iba kasi talaga. The anatomy will be different, especially if yung procedure kasi na ginagawa, basically, from what I understand so aalisin nila yung testicles, and then they were gonna slit the penis in half and then like fold it and fashion it in a way.
Parang tinapa, exacto.
Ifa-fashion siya in a way na it would look like a vagina. Tapos, merong ini-insert kasi na instrument, they have to do that like forever para ma-maintain yung manufactured na hole
yung
or
itsura,
neo-vagina yung tawag, new vagina. To maintain that, if they don't do that, magko-close up. Like any scar.
Piercing, parang gano'n.
Oo, parang gano'n, yeah.
Lagyan niya ng hikaw. So, parang hikaw niya yun.
Parang gano'n, oo. And I'm not really equipped to handle yung ganong klaseng cases. I'm going to have to refer.
Okay, last question for me. Kasi ako, nasa 44 na tayo. So how would I now...
44 pa lang.
44. How do we now differentiate if we're pregnant? If we miss our period, how would we know if we're pregnant or menopausal?
Simple lang naman.
Kung naiinitan lang ba ako or
Flashes na ba to?
Kasi usually, marami akong patients ngayon na, Dok, hindi ako nagkakaroon. Basta, ang rule kasi dyan, if you have a patient who has not yet reached menopause, so within the reproductive years, meaning nag-start na siya mag-mens, hindi pa siya nagbe-menopause, anytime in between that, if they present with...
Ano age ngayon ng menopausal age?
Wala. Ang average na menopause kasi sa Filipina is like 48 years old.
Okay,
But it's a range from 47 to 52. But I've had patients 54 na sila nag-menopause. So it's really dependent.
What's the oldest patient you had na buntis?
Not my personal patient, pero consultant na kilala ko. She got pregnant at 46, I think. Got nanganak ng 47. Pero recently, parang abroad may mga nanganganak na hindi sila IVF, mga 50s na sila, 54. Yun yung sinasabi ko, as long as you're within yung reproductive age na yan, anytime na nagkaroon ka ng irregular menses, meaning you skip yung period mo, lalo na kung regular ka talaga, you do a pregnancy test. Yun naman ang easiest talaga. Pero kami, kung magpupunta ang patient sa clinic, aside from the pregnancy test, we request for a transvaginal ultrasound. Hindi mo masasabi yan. What you can do to estimate kung kailan, so more or less, ang babae, born na kasi tayo with the eggs that we will need during entire lifetime. Usually, 400 cycles yan for entire lifetime. So, bilangin nyo na. Let's say, nag-menarche ka or
galing.
first menstruation ka ng 11 years old.
Tapos kung regular, bibilangin
Regular.
mo.
Bilangin mo na. So, 12 times in a year. Bilangin mo na kung ilang.
kung ilang taon, alam mo na kung ilang taon ka mag-menopause.
Pero mabibilang din, di ba? Sa ultrasound. Tama ba? Or sa transvaginal ultrasound?
Sa transvaginal ultrasound, they do a procedure, nag-count sila ng follicles. Follicles, yun yung lalagyan ng egg. So, nasa loob si egg.
Makikita nila kung ilang pa natira.
Nakikita nila yung kung...
Tsaka kung healthy. Tama ba? Kung healthy?
Kung nag-grow siya, ganyan. Hindi mo man sasabi kung healthy or hindi.
talaga.
Kung nagmamature, malalaki pa siya.
Kailan mo last nag-OB?
Hindi, tatanungin ko sana kung pag maaga ka bang nagkaroon, maaga kang magme-menopause.
Kasi fixed yung number of cycles na...
Based on the number of eggs nga.
more or less. That is for somebody na walang issue like polycystic ovaries.
Ayun pala. Yung PCOS, Doc, ano yung mga early signs nun?
Early signs ng PCOS, ang PCOS kasi is something we're born with. Hindi siya because of what we ate or it's andun na yung tendency to do that. But pwede siyang quiet lang, meaning hindi ka symptomatic. And then matitrigger lang siya dahil sa lifestyle, no? Yung symptoms na sinasabi mo, usually ang pinaka-common sa reproductive age would be irregularity of menses. So, hindi ka nagkakaroon every month. Or magkakaroon ka pero mahina, spot-spot lang siya. May kasama yan usually na weight gain. And then acne or signs of hyperandrogenism or yung masyado mataas yung male hormone sa katawan mo. So, acne, oily skin, naglalagas yung hair mo, or tinutubuan ka ng hair in areas na dapat wala kang hair, like a mustache or patilla. Ganyan. Siguro sa dami ng anak mo, hindi ka na. Kasi isang issue din yan sa PCOS yung hirap not naman all, but a lot.
Okay lang PCOS, wag lang pikot. Pag nabuntis mo yung
Doktora, ako may question ako. Anong the best na contraceptive?
Walang the best contraceptive. Depende kung definition mo ng best. Ibig mo sabihin pinaka-effective?
Safest.
Yes, actually, you're correct. The only 100% na surefire effective is abstinence. All the rest may point something yan na chance na mabubuntis
Yung ano na lang, less hormonal something.
Oo. Kasi yung
yung oral contraceptive
pills
pills
have side effects.
pwede ka kasing mag-natural family planning. So, maraming,
Calendar.
pwede ka mag-calendar, yung check mo yung Billings method, check mo yung discharge.
Classic.
Meron yung iba yung nagbibid sila, nagbibilang. Ngayon, may mga app. Pwede na doon sa app. Titingnan mo kung ano yung period na fertile ka. Fertile period, tsaka yung medyo fertile period, safe period, ganyan.
Ito lagi fertile eh.
Yan na ba?
31, 32.
Hala.
Fertile. Gusto niya naman na 8 children daw. So that's fine.
Grabe!
6 lang din.
Totoo ba yan?
It's advisable ha. Like, minus the economic factor. The fact na with every pregnancy, isipin mo yung anak mo parang vampira yan. Sinisip-sip niya lahat ng nutrient. It's basically, think of it as a parasite eating your nutrients. That's why we give you supplements. That's why we tell you to eat more, drink more.
Ang breast milk daw, galing sa dugo. I mean, how the body produces the breast milk, it's coming from the blood?
Your blood is the conduit of nutrients.
Yun ba yung white blood?
White blood cells kasi breast milk. Nakakainis. Dapat seryoso mo tinanong, doktor. Tatapin natin yung reaction niya. Magpapatulan niya yung bobong.
Ay, hindi niyo na ako magugulat sa mga tanong. Lahat na ng klaseng tanong. Oo. Kailangan ko, buti nga nakamask na kami sa clinic ngayon. Dati talagang kailangan yung face mo. Parang,
RBF. Buti di ka na
poker face.
RBF ako. Hello.
RBF ka
Kaya
na.
lang for some reason yung patients ko akala nila mabait ako.
Kasi nga nakatakot na mask.
Oo,
with the
bait na
mask.
bait sila sa akin. Kasi
Hindi,
ako, compared sa ibang OB kasi,
totoo yun.
ano,
I mean, sinatsaga mo sagutin kasi.
hindi naman tiyatsaga kasi parang pipilitan ako. Actually, I like talking to patients talaga. It's part of me being an educator. I like talking to people. Kaya pumayag din ako nito. Sabi mo, di ba, it's to inform. Yes. It's a way to bring out the information. Yeah. Kasi maraming ang tanong, sobrang daming tanong. Tungkol
Ito, para sa mga kahit hindi buntis, yung tanong ko, gaano ka often magpa-check up sa OB?
Lalo na buntis at saka hindi buntis?
Pag hindi buntis, kayo
Oo,
last
pag
year
hindi,
nag-check
kahit
up?
hindi buntis.
Oo. Pa-check up na kayo ngayon.
Ito na, doktor.
Yung sa buntis kasi merong set na time frame talaga yan. So pag hindi ka buntis, tapos wala ka namang nararamdaman, it's still advisable na at least once a year punta ka sa OB mo.
Once a year.
Para magpa-pap smear at least.
Okay.
No? And just to have yung regular na, kasi minsan, akala mo normal, hindi na pala siya normal. Like, may mga patients kasi, hindi dok, okay naman lahat, nag-regular naman menses. Kung you ask them, pag binilang mo yung period ng between menses nila, hindi siya normal. Pero sa kanila, since ganun na sila, they think it's normal. So, at least every year, or any time na magkaroon ka ng symptoms, as simple as vaginal discharge, for example.
Anong pinaka-alarming na discharge, doktora?
Hindi sa pinaka-alarming. Anything that is not normal, you should have checked. Kasi ang normal na, meron talaga tayong vaginal discharge na normal. So, it's clear or white or light yellow. It shouldn't have any smell. Or kung meron mang smell, parang very, very faint lang. Lalo na kapag end of the day na siya. That's still normal. Hindi siya dapat makate. Hindi siya dapat foul or fishy smell. Hindi siya dapat masakit. Wala ka dapat nararamdaman ng mga rashes doon. At hindi dapat masakit pag nakikipag-contact. Kung meron kang any of that, kahit na severe, hindi severe, you should have yourself checked. Kasi a lot of the sexually transmitted diseases are actually asymptomatic. Wala siyang symptoms. Or kung meron man, ang symptom lang nila is a discharge. Yun lang.
Paano kung sa puwet?
Na naman.
Kasi may inside joke kami. Enter the different hole. Is it still
Yun ang
covered?
magandang contraceptive.
Contraceptive.
Yun nga yung family planning niya eh.
Ay, no. Ayun, kaya sa mula sa kaboses niyong patungo na ng menopausa, si D.
Mula sa kaboses ninyong naiinitan lang pala, hindi nag-hot flashes, Jeannie Lakay.
Mula sa kabos yung naniniwala sa family planning.
Mula sa kaboses niyong nabuntis habang nagpo-postpartum, kay Asko kami ang Lady Bosses!
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.